You know, I just put out a video talking about a watch that my father left me. And I like that video, I'm proud of that video, but it also made me think a little bit about something I've revealed. And maybe you guys didn't know this, but to reveal this, I grew up in Saudi Arabia, and I was born there. And I grew up there, and my dad also grew up there, and my grandfather also worked for the Saudi Aramco. And, you know, I think about this frequently. You know, in light of, I wonder if I don't know what people think in light of, like, revelations about Saudi and what Saudi does in the world. And, like, I wonder if maybe people would say, like, well, how can you have justified living there if you, with all the horrible things that country had done? And I would like to say, rest of the world, how do you think you sleep so easily at night? Do you think you got to that position? Do you think your ancestors got you to that position through normal means? Through purely moral reasons? But in truth, that's the coward's way out. That's just deflecting blame. And as much as I would like to deflect blame, it is something I think about quite frequently, what my relationship to Saudi Arabia is, because that's, you know, I in many ways still think of that as home. I still think of the Aramco campus as my home. And, you know, it's weird when you live in a country and you know a lot more of the intricacies. And, you know, the Americans were pretty separated, and, you know, people always ask me, do I know Arabic? And I have to say, I don't. I used to at some point know some words, but I have just, because, you know, you're always we were so isolated. You know, we formed our own culture. You know, the cities had their own, like the compounds had their own culture, but you know, there was never as much of a need to learn Arabic as you think there was. And that's terrible to say, and that's one of my big regrets, is that I don't know how to speak Arabic really anymore, or ever. I honestly say I forgot how to speak Arabic, but I never really learned how to. And, you know, but, you know, that's not what this video is about. That was a tangent. And what I think hard about what my relationship to Saudi is, and it does create stress because they are doing not good things. And the oil industry is not a good industry. And I don't know what to contemplate with that. I try and do good things, but I'm not, you know, I'm a lazy American, and I don't do the good I probably should do in the world. I don't have the social responsibility that I angst and agonize over things, but then in the end, I'm too scared to, like, engage with that sort of stuff. And, you know, it was weird when the killing happened, and when, you know, the journalist was killed. I just didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to think, because at some point, like, so here's an interesting little thing to think about. For a while, we were actually looking forward to, like, the people in Saudi, like, just in general, like, the Saudis and the people in Saudi, you know, or the immigrants in Saudi Arabia, were really looking forward to this current guy taking over. And that's a crazy thing to say, I know, because he's turning out to be kind of a huge weirdo who does bad things. But it started off good, you know, and it's weird to think that at some point I had affection for him, and I may still do, No, I don't. What am I saying? No, I don't. I have affection for the person I wanted him to be. And it's just, he's just not turning out to be the person. And it's heartbreaking because he started off okay, you know? But I think about, you know, what is my relationship to the state? And I don't know. I have good memories of it, but I know those good memories were built on the suffering of others. And just saying it keeps me up at night is not good enough.